Excuse me? Okay.
Hold on. Okay. There it
Excuse
is.
me? Okay.
All right, I closed it. So how are you doing today?
Uh, Today I'm doing a little bit more better.
Okay.
I try to put myself together, try to see the positive things if I can see it and all the mess around me.
Yeah,
But I can tell you the last class I had, I finished emotionally devastated.
exhausted, devastated. Oh,
Yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah. I close. I'm saying the truth. I I went to my room to cry.
Mm,
Yes, I was emotionally not not okay. Yeah, I feel like I spoke with my wife. Is you know what? I'm gonna quit the school. The school is not for me. And I try to process the feeling. You know, just express what I feel and try to empty all my feelings from
hmm
my body. And the good thing, my wife is always ready to hear me.
hmm
She don't say nothing. She just she just support me,
Yeah.
and I feel great.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel great. And I'm back.
hmm
I'm back. Try to put myself online. I just have a meeting with my supervisor, with
Okay.
Tony, and I'm gonna reduce my hours and work. I'm gonna work less.
Okay.
Use for this couple of months until I finish my school
Okay.
because I getting so behind from my assignments and I don't like it. And I also made me feel so bad because I cannot catch up my assignments.
Right.
And with all these things happen around, so I think it's gonna be a good option for me to get an extra day off just for the school, just for the school.
And when you say the school, do you
And
mean
so about the assignments, about all the
CPE?
yes, CP,
Okay. Okay.
yes,
Can you say more about being emotionally devastated at the end of our time together last time?
yes, because I always, when since I little, I always been available to get everything from myself and to be available to help others in the best way I can. And now I cannot do that. I try to support my family. I can, my wife. I try to do more for them, and I can. And that made me feel so bad. Also, my English is not enough, and hit me also that I try to express myself in the class, in CP class, in the right way, and I find out that I don't have the right or enough English to understand or to express myself in the class.
Mhm.
See, and that made me feel so down,
Mhm.
so lower, hit my self-esteem so much.
Mhm.
But I understand because it's for the atmosphere I'm being or I'm going through, and I try to process it. I try to. I went to Google and see how many options I have to for self care, and Google give it to me 99
Woo!
diff different options, and I've been searching, doing all this,
Wow.
and I try to find the right ones to help me. Meditations, I went to walk to the through the oceans, to hear the waves and to feel the air and help me help me a little bit, but help me in the end. And also I do some exercise that do not help me at all.
Wow.
I feel the same. So
Yeah.
I try to be in touch with the moments that really help me. And one of those is wake up at the 5 o'clock in the morning and find my secret space
Mm,
and being there for 30 minutes, just doing nothing.
hmm.
Just put myself in front of God. I don't say nothing. I don't do nothing. I just rest on the truth that He is next to me.
Mm. That's awesome. That's awesome.
You should, oh my God, really?
Wow. That's
Oh,
beautiful. I'm
yeah.
glad. I'm appreciative of you sharing this with me. And I'm glad you found such a powerful practice that's helpful. I'm so glad about your self-care in terms of making adjustments in work.
Yeah.
And I want to affirm, I think your English is good. And I think you're communicating good. And I don't know what's happening on your site, right? I'm not there, but in group,
No, I don't have any problems on my side.
well, it's,
I
yeah.
mean, they ask me when they have issues with the speaking Spanish chaplains, with the speaking Spanish patient, and I do not do the job for them as they do not the job for me. I give it to them advice as they give it to me the advice. How can I approach myself to their community or to my community? And we are growing together in that area.
Good.
So I
And
have
they have interpreters, right? They have an interpreter system.
oh yeah, we are the only hospital who has interpreters to Mixteco alive
Wow.
24/7.
Awesome. Okay.
So we have in the hospital people who work as interpreter from to Mixteco because we have I think one of the huge Mixteco communities in Santa Maria.
Okay. Excellent.
So yeah, so in other ways, I think it's the only interpreters we needed because when they had somebody really hard to deal with that in Spanish, they call me.
And the really hard to deal with in Spanish is they're realizing this person needs emotional support
Exactly.
in order to deal with the situation. Okay.
Exactly.
Because the interpreter is trained with the medical in
Yeah.
piece. Excellent. That's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
And so sometimes the interpreter didn't want to translate the pray. When we pray for the people, the interpreter didn't want to do that, and he's allowed to not do it
Oh, wow. Why would they not want to do that?
because I think it's a rule. If they didn't want to do it, they can because their own belief. I believe so.
Wow. I've never encountered that with an interpreter.
Yeah, that's good, but we have it right here,
Yeah.
and we have it with the live interpreters.
Okay. Yeah, we use a screen that's live, but they're not at the site. We don't have them on site too often.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
We've
and
had some challenges. Our interpreter uh left the other day because ICE came into the hospital.
oh,
So they left.
Oh,
It's-
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
not good.
No, it's not good.
Mm.
Monday I went to the church, and as every Spanish church, they are missing a lot of people because they don't show up to church.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, we are trying to do something for them. So we are transmitting the service through Facebook.
Ah,
Allow them to see the service in Facebook, and that way they do not have to come to church
okay.
uh, present.
Right. Because it's so vulnerable.
Exactly.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, how can I support you in this time when you're trying to catch up?
Uh, just be patient with me. That's all I needed. I'm
Okay.
gonna catch up. Just be patient with me, and I'm gonna catch up.
Okay.
Now
Have,
I'm trying to finish my verbatim.
okay.
So I almost done. I finish. I am in the last steps. I finished the conversation between he and me.
Great.
But when I translate, when I do the things, now I put in the right form. More stop pumping up to my head. So
Okay.
I start fixing it. Put things and I feel it. That I remember, because I'm gonna talk about one of the securities who approached to myself without knowing me, without knowing. I don't know who he was. I know that he was a security officer. He's a new officer. He has like a 2 weeks, and he came to myself to ask for an advice, to help. And he he's tried to commit suicide.
Mm,
But the thing is, this when he tell me in the room that he's tried to hit himself, my emotions take me to my years ago, because I work with a friend. We work in the same machine. We are a couple for 7 years,
mm,
and someday he didn't show up, and I was a Christian, and he wasn't. Okay, I feel the responsibility to preach, to give it to him, all the Christian stuff.
right.
And Sundays he didn't show up, and he never miss, like myself. We never miss a day of work without reason. If he gonna miss, he tell me, "Oh, Alfredo, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna miss tomorrow." And I
Mm-hmm.
say, and I do the same with him. And you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna be not gonna be here. And that day he didn't tell me nothing. And in the morning, like, we start working at 7 o'clock. Like at 9 o'clock in the morning, the owner of the company show up and get on us together, and we have a meeting. And he told us that he commit suicide. He give it to himself a shot in the head in
Mm,
the middle of the railroad, and when the train pass over his body also. So that news shocked me in that time. I feel so guilty. Well, wasn't easy because I was there. And my first thought, what am I doing here? Why am I seeing that coming?
mm,
And all the guiltiness came to my mind.
right.
And when he told me that feeling came.
Yeah.
So the conversation begins kind of rough until I put myself together again and realize that I have an opportunity to help him, because I don't want to cross the same process.
Mm-hmm.
And and he was in the middle of this situation. So it's kind of I believe God give it to me the strength I needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's He is doing things in my life for a reason. The problem is I don't know the reason yet. But as happened 40 years ago, not 40, 30 years ago, when I lost my two kids,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was the purpose of God until now.
Mm.
Now I know what was the reason. The reason was, as the scriptures say, as the consolation you been gone through, you can help and others.
Mm.
So I help a lot of women, a lot of couple who lost their little ones in NICU, in maternity leave. They call me when
Mm-hmm.
something like that happened. They call me.
Mm-hmm.
The nurses, the doctors, my course. When something like that, call me.
They know you have the skills
Yeah, not only the skills,
and the
the spirit.
experience. Mhm.
So I empathize. I empathize with them, and I can connect right away. For some reason, as soon as I step in the rooms, I connect with them.
Hmm. Wow. How do you do it?
I don't know. I just be myself with them.
Hmm.
I be with them. I never judge them. I let them express themselves. I love them. I know the situation. I know the feelings. And I just do with them what I want somebody to do with me in that time. But I don't have it, but I'm willing to give it to them.
Hmm. That's powerful.
Yeah, I'm being in a rooms when I used to step in and they start crying. I don't have to say nothing. And I allow them to cry and I cry with them. Then I comfort them.
Yeah. And your presence alone
Yes,
and the safe space you create for them to cry is comforting to them.
yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my coach asked me how you do that. Say, this is nothing that you can do or I can teach you step by step. Something that you have to have inside. The compassion,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
the compassion. Because when Jesus went to resurrect Lazarus, the scriptures say that the first thing he felt was compassion for the crowd and start crying with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they make the miracle.
Mm-hmm.
But the first, the compassion that the people needed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm doing. And I believe that's my calling.
Ah, I believe it's your calling too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad that you have found what you need and are creating the environment you need to continue. I'm so glad. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for
Yeah.
that.
I'm so happy on the other hand because I uh, I start Bible studies in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible studies I give it to the people in the rooms are something that people can do it, you know, how they can take care of themselves, you know, self-aware, breathe, relax. And I give the people those studies with a Bible fundaments and what they
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're gonna breathe, just breathe, you know. You are breathing the presence of God. Like I give it to them a study about the process of the loss, and I use an scripture how you can process the loss, because everything you lost, you have to grieve. Everything in life, when you gain something, it's because you lose something.
Mm,
If you don't process the lose or grieve the losing, could be you may gonna have a trauma later on,
mm,
and those traumas is gonna dictate your attitude, your character, because you don't process the losing.
okay.
And one of the chaplains is make the studies flyers and put in the temple, like little studies, because I wrote everything, and the people start asking for them.
Okay. Have you thought about your project for this unit?
No, not yet.
Maybe it can be something around loss and grief and how you help people process that.
Oh wow.
So you can take something you're doing and just build on it and bring out the theory and strengthen it. And that can be your project.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, let me write it
Already
down.
done so much of it.
Oh yeah, and I'm still doing. Yeah, yeah, I got my notes.
Good.
Yeah, and that way I don't have to find another. I can use enrich this one.
That's right. There you go. Help
Yeah,
not, because as you're catching up, you want to be efficient and not overdo.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm not aware of you having a whole lot of stuff missing. I know no assignments this week, but you're doing your clinical hours.
yes. I'm
Okay.
missing the
The weekly reflection.
no, the weekend reflection. I have that one because that I didn't send yet.
Okay.
And the last week I didn't say my clinical hours because last week I do not work.
Right. So I didn't expect any because I knew you were out. How is your wife doing?
She's doing better.
Okay. Is she's at home? She's at
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she worked all her life, and when I get into this calling, was enough for us and say, you know what, you don't have to work anymore.
Okay. I'm
He say,
glad
really?
she's
He
good.
say, she say, really? You don't want to me to? No. How we gonna do that? Just forget about it. Just let me handle everything. Okay.
Good for her.
So yeah, the first 2 months was so hard because she don't know what to do it. Say, I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing nothing. Yes, you're doing a lot. So I have to help her to understand that being at home is a lot of help,
hmm
and it's more work than she thought.
Yeah,
And being home is work and is reward also.
good.
The problem for us is we want to see the reward as a money, but
Mm,
in home the reward is not as a money.
okay,
Okay?
right.
It's about feel grateful, feel useful, and when your kids can say, "Mom, thank you for the food,"
Mm-hmm.
this is the reward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When our kids can say, "Mom, what can I help you?"
Mm-hmm.
This is the reward.
Yeah,
It's
that's
different.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you are pressing forward, Alfredo. And I know this is not easy. And I know These are some especially difficult times. So please let me know if what can be helpful,
Yes, of
you
course.
know? And you said you already had the weekly reflection done, so that's fine.
Yes,
Um,
I'm being behind in the other two statements. Do I have to send?
The only statements I'm aware of that you have to send that you haven't sent, you sent your contract for learning.
The tracking record indicators.
Right. So I don't want you to go back.
Okay,
Just go forward with the tracking document. Okay. So you're not behind. You're just
thank
going forward.
thank you very much.
Okay.
That helped me so much because it's the only two things that I'm being
Yeah.
worried and I feel I'm behind because the
Right.
weekly statements is there, the clinical or is there,
Right.
everything else is there. Just
So just let that go and we just go forward.
all right,
All right.
perfect. All
Excellent.
right,
It's
all
good.
right.
That's and you like you said, you already got your verbatim almost done. You only have the last portion to do,
Oh yeah, by this night I'm gonna
and you'll be
send
done.
over,
Yeah. So
send it
you're
over.
caught up. Take a deep breath. You're caught
Yeah,
up.
yeah, and I'm gonna be ready
Caught up.
for
And
for 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 tomorrow for the presentation.
there you go. That's
You
right.
allow me to be the first. I always want to be the first.
Okay.
I don't know
Good.
why, but I love to be the first because in that way, I just give my presentation, they get the feedbacks, and give it to them my feedbacks, and I can be relaxed.
Okay.
For
Then just jump in there. Just jump
yeah,
in and go forward.
all right,
Oh,
perfect.
good. Um, Talk to me a little bit about your decision to not do group last week. You said, "Hey, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to continue with group." Thank you so much for letting me know.
Uh,
And how did that feel and what was going on with you?
Last week,
Mm-hmm.
I feel so tired. Uh, and when I try to explain uh, my thoughts, I cannot explain in the with the right words
Mm-hmm.
that I have to use in CPE. And I, I just try to process my wife's stuff because she is okay, but not really okay. But
Mm-hmm.
in the top of that, my brother, the brother who is younger than me, get to the hospital worse than my wife.
Oh my goodness.
So, so I have a lot of things in my mind,
Got
and
it.
I say, you know what? That's it. I'm not gonna finish this
Okay.
one. It's only 1 hour. It's only, we're gonna just talking. I finish like 1 hour, just 1 hour.
Okay.
That's why I feel that way. I do not I do not do this usually, but in this moment, I feel like I have to just to breathe.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
appreciated your professionalism in communicating. Hey, I'm not
Okay,
going to be here. Thank you. If you look on our total educational hours, we have 3 hours over. So you used one of those hours, so it's not a problem in terms of your educational hours. You
okay,
still are on track to have the 100. Obviously, your presence is missed in group, so to
okay.
know that we miss your presence and it does make an impact. And thank you for that, taking that moment of self-care and saying,
Yeah,
this is too much. I need to take a break.
yeah,
That's good self-awareness. And I think that was a good choice to say, hey, I need to stop. I need to take a break. I also I don't know, I'm asking, with everything that you had going on, I didn't even know about your brother. I knew about your wife and I knew about some of the concerns about your
Mm,
sister and the what was happening in the hospital and how everything that's going on with ICE and the nephew and all of that. Now you also had your brother.
yeah.
And I also knew your own sense of I like getting everything done on time. So I knew you also had that going on. I wonder when all of that is happening, does it make it more difficult to communicate in English?
I think in some way, yes. Yes, it does. The truth is, it does to communicate myself because I have to think the words twice. But and then I believe it's good because I take the time to think more.
With
And it's
all that going on, I
yes,
want you to give yourself some grace.
yeah,
Because you started out by saying, I couldn't get the words in English. I couldn't. Well,
yeah,
there was a lot going on, and it's
yeah.
harder
Thank
to
you.
communicate. So
Yeah,
please give yourself some grace.
thank you for give it to me that affirmation that I needed because my kids are an experts in that. I don't know how they do that. My wife also. Hey, you're doing it really good. Don't push yourself too hard because my wife know that I push myself always.
Yes.
And my wife said, hey, don't push yourself too hard. Give it yourself the opportunity to make mistakes. That's what
Mm-hmm.
she told me.
Mm-hmm.
And enjoy those mistakes. Say, how am I going to enjoy the mistakes? Just accept them. Just made them and say, oh, I am human. That's all about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you said, what did you say? We're not perfect. We're human.
Yeah, that's my word. I always say, don't
Alfredo,
worry.
Alfredo, guess what?
But
You're human.
yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah,
Yeah, and under all that pressure, all that you have to do to communicate and how you have to do it twice, that's a lot. It's a whole lot. So it makes
yeah,
sense that it's like I can't find the words right now. And then I can imagine getting frustrated because I'm not feeling understood.
yes,
You don't hear me. You don't understand. That just takes it to a whole nother level.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And that made me being conscious and take care of myself
mhm.
more in a more deeper way.
What are other things you can do in that moment when you realize, okay, this is overwhelming? What are things you can do?
The things I do when I feel that is just breathe,
Breathe.
Michael. When my kids look at me sitting down and take a bit and be like that, just 5 minutes.
And it's levels. Can you
That's it.
imagine inviting the group in that moment? Say, hey, I need to just take a breath. Everybody take a breath with me. And leading us all through a breath, slowing us all down. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. It feels. When was it when I feel to just say
Mm,
when one of the girls is sharing about the what triggered her emotions. Remember
yes.
that I share my experience in the trauma and what triggered me to talking by myself.
Hmm.
And I feel like this is the moment that I have to breathe, to take a deep breath, just relax
Yeah.
because the atmosphere looks like kind of intense because of that. We're sharing our feelings.
Yeah, it was deep.
Yes.
And by leading us in that way, in that moment, not only does that reflect your self-awareness, but that's good trauma-informed care that
Mm.
you are engaging in with the whole group.
Yeah. I start doing with the nurses.
Ah, yes.
After,
Yes.
after the trauma, I remember one of the nurse. We went through a huge and so intensive trauma, and I came to the office to my staff, and I went back to see how the staffs are. I always do that.
When was this?
I went to the trauma 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
We went to a trauma, an intensive trauma, where this father and his son was shooting, and the young
Yes.
kid was died, and the nurse who was working with that. So everything finished. I went to my office, to my desk. I put my notes, take a big breath, and then I stand up and I return to the area to see how the staff are doing. And I saw the nurse just like a freezing in the desk, just freezing with the the eyes focused on the computer without doing nothing. Like her body was there, but her mind wasn't. And I just put my hand in her shoulder, and she looked at me, and I just told her, just breathe, take a big breath. She went 3 or 3 times, and she get herself together. And I told her everything. It's okay. You do what you have to do it, and you're doing great. She looked and said, "Thank you for coming."
It's an excellent example of one of the outcomes. Excellent. That's great. I'm 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 glad for them that they have you.
Oh, and I glad that I have them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah. Very good.
yes, yes. So that's what I'm doing right now. And all this thing I'm doing is because I learned it from you, from CP.
Well, when you go to write out the future outcomes and indicators, the past are done.
Okay,
You could mention that incident if you like,
okay,
because it is an excellent example of working with the team. And it's an excellent example of using the behavioral science of trauma-informed care. You touched, you invited her into breathing. You could see she was there, but not there.
yeah,
And you brought her, you grounded her. So
yes.
for the future outcomes and objectives, that excellent, excellent. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
No, I
Okay,
think everything is covered.
then may I give you the gift of
Yeah.
20 minutes? And we
Okay.
stop right here, stop now.
Thank
You
you.
are not behind. You are
Uh,
not behind.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Take
Okay,
uh, you take from my shoulders a heavy weight.
good,
Just
good.
fall down.
Yes,
So I'm gonna take those 20 minutes. I'm gonna stay here and I'm
good.
gonna do some exercise.
Awesome. I love it. And I will see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Okay,
Thank
okay,
you. All right.
okay,
Take
bye.
care. Bye.